in such a worse place than it was when he took office, obviously with multiple wars going on around the world. But with those younger voters in particular, one of the things that they point to is they blame him for their student debt not getting forgiven, even though technically it was the Supreme Court that throttled that for him.
They knew that was illegal from the start. But look, I think what you're seeing here in these poll numbers is the reason why Donald Trump is being indicted by every leftist DA and federal prosecutor underneath the sun. And like what my thought is what trends that have led to these horrific poll numbers for Joe Biden are going to reverse themselves over the next year. I can't see any of them. I see a deteriorating economy. I see the world getting far more volatile. It's like a set of dominoes that when one of these conflicts goes off, something else breaks here and something else breaks there. So if anything, this is likely to get worse. So I'd expect the Biden administration to step up their attacks, and for KJP to say that she does not pay attention and govern by polls is the furthest thing from the truth.
Yeah, and also, Laura, what we've learned about that younger demographic, you know this, where all of a sudden we find out he's on paternity leave. There's a train derailment. Where's Secretary Pete? Then you've got the disaster last Christmas. Remember when I think it was, 39,000 flights were canceled, 36,000 flights were canceled in general. Southwest had the meltdown. Where was the transportation secretary? And he's with his family. I mean, there's just time and time again, he has not stepped up to the plate. Now I think he's decided to change his tack ahead of what could be, because we're going to have bad weather this week, by the way. Just throwing that out there, America. You are going to have bad weather. And he's probably throwing that out there thinking, let me protect myself now and blame Republicans.
He is like your toxic mix of arrogance and incompetence. Right, and it's from the supply chains disasters when he came in. This is one of the most crucial times in American history for transportation secretaries, and he has not delivered on anything.
Yeah, but he's had a rough go. All right, let's bring him ahead.
Yeah, well, look, I'm interested to see when this actually translates to Microsoft's bottom line, right? Because everything now is kind of the hype around it. And when you look at Microsoft on a free cash flow yield basis, it's the most expensive out of this Magnificent Seven. This is a stock that basically didn't move from 2000 to 2016 and is up 6 or 7-fold since then. At what point is this Magnificent Seven, is the valuations too much? And I would say that it's in a slowing economy with rising interest rates and kind of tumultuous times, it makes sense that the most recession-resistant businesses, the ones with the best balance sheets, do the best. But how long do you think this can continue?
Yeah, you make a great point about multiples and the rising interest rate environment. A concern I've had with the Qs, the Magnificent Seven, big tech over the past year, is that we're still discounting earnings as though interest rates were at 0 as opposed to 5% currently.
Yeah. Mike?
Yeah, this is a total and complete mess. And we were told that the adults were back in charge. I'm still waiting for these adults to show up and get in charge. Because if you think about this outside of this direct conflict and how it's being viewed in America, what are all the different ways this can go wrong? And Iran is involved in certain, Iran, and now you have Iran and Saudi Arabia teaming up, which is unheard of and unthinkable prior to this event. And it all becomes, it's all because of the power vacuum from the incompetence that is this administration. And all of these problems that we could see 2, 5, and 10 years down the road from a lack of leadership, a lack of decisiveness, and an inability to get in front of these things. Because I believe it was like a week before October 7th, Jake Sullivan is out there saying, "Oh, we're very confident, we're very happy with the way things are having in Israel." So it's
he got. To be fair, he got lambasted from all sides of the media on that one. He was questioned by everyone on that because he definitely made him Biden. She just has not connected as vice president.
And like when you think about it from a more micro level, how does Kamala play in Michigan? How does she play in Wisconsin? How does she play in Pennsylvania? And further to that point, how does Gavin Newsom play in those same states? And if you think about that sort of West Coast elitist liberalism and how it plays in the Rust Belt, is why Joe Biden is going to be the nominee, regardless of all his mental acuity issues.
Well, although I will say Gavin Newsom.
Got Nvidia.
Yeah, look, we'll see. So as this AI comes out, the only thing that's hit the tape in terms of actual massive earnings, explosive earnings, has been Nvidia. And so last quarter expected to come in at 11 billion, which was a really high bar, and they blew it away. This quarter, that 16 billion number, the whisper number is 18, 19 billion. We'll see what happens. And this stock gets a lot of knocks because on a trailing basis, it's trading at 100-something times earnings, but on a forward basis, if they do 80 to 90 billion in revenue over the next 12 months at a 40 to 50% margin, it's trading closer to 30 times earnings. So, but that's all hype and speculation until we get another data point right now. And it seems like all of this AI is just in the last 6 to 9 months happening right now, right in front of us, which is why there's so much hype.
Well, that was the whole week. It was about AI and OpenAI. Nvidia, 337 is the estimate for earnings per share, but the 16.18 billion in revenue, 172% jump from year over year is the estimate for revenue for Nvidia. That's going to be a barn buster. Mike, let's move on to Microsoft. That hit an all-time high yesterday. Obviously, this is over the Sam Altman drama that he's now going to be joining Microsoft and heading up the whole AI research team. The staff is revolted. They're threatening to quit. They want to go to Microsoft unless the entire board of OpenAI resigns and they reinstate Altman. OpenAI now saying, and this is kind of a cleanup on aisle 5 situation, that they're in intense discussions to unify the company, Mike.
Yeah, so when I look at AI, it's how is this going to translate to the bottom line of these companies? And right now you have a lot of hype in that other than Nvidia, we haven't seen it translate to anybody's actual earnings that have been reported. OpenAI, their revenue, they were a year ago they were at like $20 million a month, and now they're at over $80 million a month, which is a pretty spectacular growth rate. But realistically, Microsoft's a multi-trillion-dollar company. A few billion dollars in revenue is like pocket change for most people. So what is this going to translate, and how is this going to play out? And so I look at Microsoft from this situation. Getting Sam Altman and getting all these people from OpenAI to join is going to put them at the front of the market. And so, yes, electronic vehicles are a big thing, but Tesla itself is much bigger.
Yeah.
Streaming video is a big thing, but Netflix continues to win. So can Microsoft now cement itself as a leader and get this premium valuation? Because on a free cash flow basis, they are the most expensive out of this Magnificent Seven, aside from Nvidia, which we really don't know what's going to look like. But that's what I'm looking at right here, is to see how all this plays out. And with all this drama and OpenAI coming out, to me, it's still all about Nvidia's earnings today after the bell.
All of the marbles. That's the Mike Lee, ladies and gentlemen. All right. Angela Zeno, it's a news poll upside down against President Trump in a head-to-head matchup in 2024. I thought Kristen Welker on Meet the Press was going to fall over and faint when she was, showing these polls on Sunday morning.
Yeah, look, all these polls showed him 5 to 10 points behind in the last election, and it was 40,000 votes over 3 states that decided this. And so people, they remember, and like CNN and Bill Maher and everybody can say whatever they want. We can say great stuff about Trump, bad stuff about, it doesn't matter. People remember what 2019 was like. They remember what life was like pre-COVID. Things are ungodly expensive. There's war everywhere. There's uncertainty everywhere. People are nervous, and the working class population is disproportionately represented in the Electoral College.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Okay, so the people that are getting crushed the most by this administration's policies are going to decide the election, and all the Democrats can do is tell these people they're stupid. Like, tell me how that's going to work out.
Does it? You're insulting the electorate versus maybe try and give them a message that they can grab onto. Try and act like you care about what's bothering them. And President Biden, and this goes back again to the 20
discussion.
I think the more fun discussion is a Santa Claus rally. I will take it. Let's bring in Mike Lee into this discussion.
Joel, great to see you. Look, Nvidia is reporting today, and so much of the tech rally, the Magnificent Seven, has been based around this artificial intelligence phenomenon. Okay, I tend to believe that Nvidia is going to blow the doors off when you have people like Elon Musk saying, we will buy every chip under the sun we could possibly get our hands on from Nvidia. But just to play a little devil's advocate, what if Nvidia misses tonight, and they miss kind of bad, based on not being able to export into China? How do you see that playing out? Do you think that could derail a rally?
It certainly could derail the mega caps. And I think, again, so you make a good point. Nvidia is priced to perfection. I know that's kind of a stale term, but it really is priced to the moon. When you compare it to other stocks and you look at traditional
Oh, I mean, all of it. Let's get to this poll because this is what you're talking about. So this is the same Quinnipiac poll. A majority of Americans are hoping to stick to talking turkey at the Thanksgiving table this year. 61% want to avoid political discussions. 29% are looking forward to it. Mike Lee, what is going to be the topic du jour at the Mike Lee Thanksgiving table?
Well, so a couple other polls that aren't talked about a lot is that no one is less informed about major issues and more closed-minded than white liberals, particularly in the Northeast. And so I'm going to take this Thanksgiving to right that wrong with my parents.
Because you're going to be here in the Northeast with all the white liberals.
Yes.
Yeah. If I see one more 20-year-old from Connecticut in a pro-Palestine march, anyway, go ahead, Laura, jump in.
Well, for me, I think